I suddenly realized I could ask you all to move up. When I was at the Maui Zendo and Aiken Roshi was going to give a Dharma talk, we just all made a roll. Circle.
Easier to hear that way too.
That too, yeah. And this is a more informal talk tonight because we've been in a session on that was on generosity. And it was a wonderful session, and I wish that all of you would have had the pleasure of hearing Jim Martin's teaching about generosity. It was quite wonderful. And I wanted just to bring her here and put her in the seat to tell you about it. But instead, I'll just share a few things that she brought up in relation to generosity. One of the things that comes with something like generosity is we've all thought about it. There are so many words that you might expect me to use, and I just don't want to do that. I really want to invoke the kind of the heart of the matter. That generosity, there's never a moment when generosity is not being enacted, not just by human beings, but by everything. Everything is offering. There's always the, in the chant that we do at meals, oryoki, we're always turning the wheel of giver, receiver, and gift. And there's a simultaneity of that. There's never a gift without a giver, and there's never a gift without a receiver. There's never a teacher without a student. There's never a sound without a hearer. It's simultaneous. And so if we're going to take on a practice of generosity, the first thing that we do, we begin with our own experience of what am I being offered at this moment? So we could take that on every moment from now until we forget. Until we forget to do it. And then we'll remember to do it again. What am I being offered at this moment? It's particularly hard to remember the spirit of that question or that practice when we're having a hard time. When a situation is really unpleasant, when there's a companion that's unpleasant, there's a thought stream in our own mind and heart that really hurts. We don't think of it in terms of the wheel of giver, receiver, and gift. What is a gift of a thought that fills our minds and hearts that's painful? A memory, or an exchange that you had that you just kind of obsess over and over and over. What is the gift of that? And we're always looking into how to practice. What in our practice, what approach can help with our own suffering in a moment like that? When I'm really having a hard time, an argument with especially an old friend, that's very painful, right? I mean, there are some people you can have an argument with and you just kind of write it off and forget about it, but then there are some people you have an argument with or you have conflict with and it's just very painful. There may be no solution in terms of the conflict and the two-ness of it, the lowness. So what is it offering? Well, first of all, we always come back to what is the state in my own body when I am in that kind of suffering? And usually it's a clenched heart or a clenched gut or both. A tight jaw, folded in posture, and a sealed off from the world. So, one of the things that that most of us have discovered was when we're having a hard time, take a walk in the woods. It's immediately helpful. All of our friends are there. The trees are just standing there in all weather, and they remind us, oh yeah, it storms, and they just stand there. And what are they receiving? They're receiving water into their roots, you know. So what kind of watering in our roots can we receive when we're having a hard time? What root? What root is it that gets watered in our suffering states? And it can be the root of mindfulness, of remembering, oh, look at the tightness in my gut. Oh, I forgot to breathe. You know, all of the things that reinforce the habits of mind and body that free us from the constricted mind states. What's a gift of conflict with a good friend? Remembering the attachment that's so important. What needs to happen here? Is it, do I need to listen more openly? Do I need to get myself out of the way and not take so personally their distress? I don't know, whatever it is. You know, you look into the narrative, the nature of the narrative. So there's always a gift. What's the gift in this current regime we have here in this country? It's reminding a lot of people what is most important. It's reminding a lot of people that things are really changing in the world. We're pulling into a very new era. It's not necessarily going to be always dominated by the greed and the hatred and the hostility and the ignorance that is being enacted right now. And has been since human beings have been alive. So the gift is, you know, and the Buddha always talks about mindfulness is, the heart of it is remembering the vow to awaken, to remember the capacity to be spacious, open, attuned to possibilities that our habit minds have been too busy to notice. Maybe we don't know what the possibilities are, in which case what we're reminded of here is we don't know. Conditions are always vast, complicated. Things are so complicated. Conditions are so complicated and unknowable. So that's a gift to remember that. We don't know what's going on. That's helpful. That's helpful. So where does that leave you or me? Well, it brings us back to the precepts. The guidance of wise understanding of how we use our body, speech, and mind. We always have a choice of how we use our body, speech, and mind, including self-talk. Talking not only to others, but talking to ourselves. What are the other gifts that we receive at every moment? You know, one of the things that is so remarkable about the Buddha way and this lineage is that we are in a lineage tradition. And everything that, all of the teachings that we receive have been kind of extracted from millennia of human beings working with the same kind of heart and mind that we work with. And discoveries have been made that are offered to us. And we can give our great attention, even if we don't understand what's being taught or how to use it. We were talking last night with Bansha, who's in Japan. That was amazing. Talking to somebody in Japan. It was 11 o'clock here at p.m. and it was 2 in the afternoon there. And he was talking about a ceremony that they were doing today at the monastery where he is, which is a Shuso Hosen. Here, when we do a Shuso Hosen, the Shuso gives a Dharma talk. We question them, we celebrate their offering that we have received, their offering of guidance and structure, paying attention on behalf of all of us. But in Japan, at this particular temple, it's a ceremony that they have done for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, since the 1200s, where they, everybody has, it's a script. It's kind of a theater piece where they enact an exchange between student and teacher that was done initially by Keizan Zenji, who was one of the people who descend from Dogen. And it's an appreciation, it's in recognition and appreciation for their contribution, their gift to us. I just thought that was so interesting, that we do such, in America, we're so individualistic. It's all about what we know, what we have to say, what we were wondering about, we're questioning each other. It's very individual there. It has nothing to do with the individual. It's kind of a mythic enactment of everything we receive from those who came before us that have delivered us from suffering, given us the way to wake up. A number of you have been at retreats, and you've had the experience of being in retreat for a number of days, even if it's been a hard one and you've struggled. But then when it's over, there's a feeling of just brand newness in some way. It's hard to describe. But then you go around and the rest of the world has not been in retreat. And so you've lost track of how deeply people are suffering, impatient, absorbed in a frown of some sort. And sometimes meeting somebody who's very bright and loving at the grocery store. Well, they didn't have to go through a retreat to be that bright and loving. Why do I have to be? But we bring our aura of peace and kind of having rested the mind to a certain degree, we bring that forward into wherever we go after a retreat. We just offer it. We don't have to think about it. There's nothing we have to do. And that's the kind of the heart of what's meant by generosity, it's not something, it's not transactional. That should be the word of the year, transactional, which is said about all of the economics of this current regime. Everything's transactional, meaning it's a business term, and if I give you this, you'll give me that. And it's based in a setup where we're very separate. My interest, your interest, maybe we could come together here. Yeah, but if not, we're separate. But with the practice of generosity, it does not have to do with separation. It's more the kind of the image we could use of sands on the beach. We're all a morsel of sand, and we all land in a certain place, and we make our contribution, depending on what's needed, our position, our function, the conditions at hand. We offer what's needed without even thinking about it. And Joan reminded me of that situation that you probably heard about in New York. Somebody had they were in a subway, they had a seizure and they fell into the subway tracks. And a train was coming down the pike, and a man was standing on the platform, and he jumped in, and he covered with his body, he covered the body, he pushed it right in between the wheels of the subway, and they both survived. And he was he was lauded as this great hero, and he said, hero, no. Anybody would do that. I didn't even think about it. And that really characterizes how to live. Not throwing yourself under a subway car, necessarily. Hopefully none of us ever confront something like that, something so dire. But it's the same thing. Somebody needs something. One of the practices that I love is somebody admires something that I have, they love it, I give it to them. I mean, that's an old practice. Relinquishment. And relinquishment runs through this practice of Buddhism. We relinquish the me and mine, the territory that's claimed and clung to and protected from other. And that's part of this spirit of generosity too. We're doing sesshin. I mean, that's the wonderful thing. That's why we so recommend people do sesshin. Because after the drama of the first 24 hours, which can be really confusing and difficult, but everybody settles down, and then we do move as one. Something is needed to happen, and everybody kind of notices it and does it. And we are reminded, because most of us don't live in group settings, but we're reminded once again of the well-being that comes with living in with that state of mind and heart. We're always ready to help, to serve, to contribute, and to receive. It's not, there are so many situations, and this I think is particularly a challenge in aging, to learn how to receive help, to give other people the opportunity to help, and to receive it with as much fullness as when you offer something, you receive it. Otherwise, it cannot be a wheel. If it's only offering, it can only go this far. If it's a wheel, it has to turn and include every part of the circularity, of the exchange. So the beauty of this practice, and this is the first of the perfections, is dana, freely giving. To watch now as you go into your week, all of the givings and receivings that are happening. I was really, I don't know what I was, I don't know how to describe it, but I was in one of the sesshin states of mind during a sit. And I looked out, and there was the hinoki cypress, right out that window. Just, it's grown straight up. And I realized, oh, and it showed me I needed to sit up, breathe. And immediately my mind changed. The state of mind changed, it opened, got lighter. So the cypress tree showed me the way. Or, going for a walk in the woods and all of the newts that come out in a certain state of moisture, they remind us, they're tender little bodies, just to stop and let them finish crossing. Or take them out of the middle of the path when the bicyclers are out, you want to take them out. Give them a chance to put them in the moist grass. And they give you that lovely experience of their plump little bellies between your fingers. There is so much giving and receiving and gift happening when we have a mind of this cycle of giver, receiver, and gift. One other thing just about Oryoki. So this morning, this has been the theme the whole time. We've been going in and out and all around it, and we were sitting at tea and sharing at the end, and we started looking at what are all the one of the translations of the Oryoki chant is 72 labors brought us this food. We should know how it comes to us. That's not the translation we use, but 72 labors is like nowhere near the number of labors that bring us this food. So we started going through the labors that brought us this piece of zucchini bread from, the zucchini, who planted it, who watered it, the water, the flour, the butter, the sugar, and all the people involved, and all of the plants involved, and all of the insects involved, and it just goes out and out and out. The seed, where'd the seed come from? Well, the last zucchini plant, right? So then it goes back through time. We can do that with anything. We can do that with any object, any material object in the material world. And we could also do that with any thought, any memory. They're related in all of time to all people. So generosity is also really appreciating the spaciousness within which we live as sentient beings. We can appreciate the great spaciousness, the timelessness within which all of this life has arisen, and that we live out as we rush around. So we received a gift. You may have noticed it up there by the altar. Kabir says, can you read it? Can you see it from where you are? Would you read it?
Yeah. Kabir says this: just throw away all thoughts of imaginary things and stand firm in that which you are.
Yeah, so what happened was, when we had the official opening of Sangajul, how long ago, 4 or 5 years? And the priest came from Great Vow, and they brought that. This was made by Sojin Kip, who was up there when I was up there a lot. He's a member, but he made this for us, and he gave it to the priest who came down for the opening ceremony, and it was in the car, and they forgot to give it to us. And ever since, anybody who's come down was reminded to bring the sign, and they forgot it. And so Joman had it in her car, and the last day, she was in my living room, and Gloria had given me a book by Hafiz, and Joman said, "Oh my God, the sign!" And she ran outside and put the sign in, otherwise she would have driven back with it. I forgot all about it. So that's a gift. And we will find where it goes. It can go, it won't stay there, but it can also be outside. Sojin made all of the wooden signs at the monastery he made. So this was one of his early ones where he was still learning how to use the carver. It's carved. All of our relationships are a gift. Our relationships to animals, plants, our own self, our own heart. So let's take very good care of this practice. Really rejoice in generosity and offering. It's a source of great joy. We have joy in anticipating the giving, joy in the actual giving, and joy in remembering the giving. Joy in being able to function on behalf of others, and to be able to appreciate that we're not separate. We're separate. One of the images that Joman read from some quote, we're separate like blades of grass are separate in a great field. That's how we're separate. We're separate from like grains of sand are on the beach. We're separate like the waves are on the ocean. And so we're always giving and receiving. And living in that way is such a good way to live. We can remember to engage that. Appreciate it. Thank you.